Yo, 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 what is up, everybody out there in these internet streets? We are here to talk about the way love goes. I am your co host, Don Dees DeLuise, with my illustrious, awesome co host right over
Tierra
there.
Monique.
Yeah, that was all over the place. Anyway, we are glad to have y'all checking us out, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching it later. Um, yeah, man, today. We thought it's something interesting to talk about. We've been talking about relationships. Last episode, we were talking with Sean about the ups and downs of relationships, ins and outs of marriages, divorce, kids, his new relationship, all that kind of stuff. It was a really good episode, so make sure y'all go back in the list and watch that video as well.
Mhm.
But today we are getting into vows,
Wow.
marriage vows.
Mhm.
Not vowels like AEIOU, but vows like promises and things that you make to each other. Okay. Um, and we're going to talk about, do you need them? Are they important? Why do we have them anyway? What are they there for? All of these good things. So, but before we do that, real quick check in, my sister. What is new with you, if anything?
Let's see. I went to a wedding on
Mm,
Saturdays. That was fun. I had a really good time seeing my folks. I haven't seen them in a very long time.
mm.
So, congratulations to my cousin David and his beautiful wife, Facia.
Hey.
Um, Also, the graduation of my firstborn son is on Sunday. So, uh, this week has already been a busy week. So,
Mm.
congratulations to him in advance. He is going to be a graduate of high school, and then he will be 18 in like 4 days, no, 2 days after that. So
Oh
we're having,
wow.
yeah, so we're having a graduation slash 18-year-old cookout for him the day before graduation. So this is going to be a very, very, very busy,
Busy.
eventful week and weekend. So
Now, are you making him go to Alabama?
no, I'm not. No.
Okay. Okay.
Unfortunately, he does not follow Alabama. Um,
Oh no.
so I think more or less it's I'm going to go against whatever my mom likes.
Oh yes, the
Yeah,
typical
yeah,
child against the parent
yeah. So
situation.
yeah, so I don't think really he has a college team at this point. So
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, he's more like into regular NFL. So yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was like that too. I didn't really get into college too much until I discovered my Michigan roots and loved the Wolverines and all of that. But otherwise, yeah, I wasn't really
Yeah.
into it. I also used to like the Florida Seminoles, but then Florida, man, they I my family's from Florida, like the heritage. But
Yeah.
boy, Florida boy, they make it hard to love you sometimes. Anyway, Florida, good old Florida.
Good old
Yeah.
Florida.
Well, I had a friend. He sent me this meme. He's like, if you could get rid. He says, I have two questions for you. One, if you could get rid of any state, which state would it be? And two, why Florida? That's
It's those
cold. That's
Gators.
cold.
Those
Them
those Gator
Gators, man.
those Gator
Something in the
fans
and something's in the water, man. Something's in the
son
water. You know.
from the swamp. From the swamp. From the
Yeah.
swamp. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's interesting. To say the least. What's
Yeah.
going on with you?
Man, nothing much. Just my kiddos, they're in the one dreaded week of summer school that they hate. They're like, "Why? We just got out of
Oh
school. Why are you bringing?"
wow.
We're like,
Wow.
"Dude, this is just for your edification." They're not trying to hear that. They're just like, "Man, we supposed to be chilling. That's what this time is all about. We don't want to hear nothing about education or bettering ourselves.
Mhm.
Not about that life."
Yeah.
We are in the we've been living in these nice university houses, and so now we're on the hunt for the next spot. That's always fun. So we put applications in, and we like
Mhm.
hopefully the place we put it in, they'll just say yes, and then we don't have to. go through a bunch of, you know, further searches, but we'll see. And
Right.
then next week, the fun thing next week is I will be taking my kids to Disneyland for the first time.
Ooh, that's gonna be.
Woo! Oh yeah, I know. My plan was to never take them. I was never gonna take them. You know, they're gonna be so mad when they find out how close it is to our house. They're gonna be like, "What?
Right. It was
Disney was
down
here
the
the whole time."
street. It was
They
down.
probably already know. Yeah, they probably already know. But yo, I was never gonna take them. I
That's
was
like
never
me
gonna
not
take them.
ever taking my kids to Busch Gardens. We
Oh,
live 15 minutes from there. So yeah,
yeah.
they they
See.
were awesome. Yeah, my youngest son wants to go to California. Well, my oldest son did too, but my youngest son wants to go to California to go to Disneyland because we've been to
Mm,
Disney World several times. So
yeah.
Disneyland, yeah.
Does Disney World have like the well, not California Adventures, but I guess what is it? Epcot? Does that have more rides kind of stuff, or they don't
No,
have nothing else really like that?
not Epcot because Disney
Okay.
World has 4 parks.
What's the yeah? Okay, so I know about
Magic
Magic
Kingdom.
Kingdom,
Magic Kingdom is Hollywood
Epcot.
City. Yeah,
Oh, Hollywood City. Okay, I never heard of that
Hollywood
one.
Studios and Animal Kingdom. Yeah.
Okay. Because I went to Disney World back in the day. Like high
Yeah.
school was the last time that
And
I
you
went
probably
there.
went to
So
Magic Kingdom because that's like the main one to go to. You
yeah.
only can go to one. That's the one you go to.
And see, I had me a dope. We went there because we went with our band directors and stuff,
Mhm.
and so we would go out there. And he was like, "Okay, I know you guys are tired of going to Disney stuff because every other year we go to Disneyland." And he said, "But we're gonna go to Disney World." And we're like, "That's just the Florida." He says, "But after we finish playing at Disney World." I booked us a concert in the Bahamas, and we was like,
Oh, wow.
"Oh, yes, sir!" So he's like, "Yep, we're gonna." I booked us. Said we're gonna be there for 4 days. As soon as we land, we're
Wow.
gonna play a concert right then, and
Hmm.
then be done with the concert stuff, and then for
Right.
3 days we just chilling in the Bahamas. I was like, "Yo,
Right.
that's what's up." That
Right.
was up. I almost lost my life out there because there was a thunderstorm. It was so beautiful to
Hmm.
watch,
Right.
but ain't nothing but water around. So you're like, yeah. We probably could get electrocuted. We should probably go inside.
Yeah.
And my friend was swimming around in the pool. I was like, really, bro? In a lightning storm, you gonna swim in the pool? I feel like that's a bad choice. I feel
Yeah.
like you
Not
shouldn't
really
do
a
that.
smart choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah.
But anyhow, so we're taking them. So they better be glad these discounts came because they would have never gone. They would have never gone.
Oh yeah,
Um,
the inflation hit everything. Yeah.
yo, dude, those tickets are like over $100 for one ticket. I think it's like 120 for a ticket.
And then it hasn't gone up because it's been like that for a long time. Well, I know
Oh,
in Disney World, it's been like 113,
oh,
120
okay.
for a while. I don't know what they are today, but I know some years back it was like 113 for a base ticket to go to Magic Kingdom, and that was without the Florida discount. So
Oh, see, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. So, yeah, these
You're all right over there.
man, I don't know. I've had for like 2 weeks.
Hmm.
I was sick like 3 weeks ago,
Hmm.
and then I got totally well, but the cough, it never wants to go away. It's always there. And even though it doesn't really come out that much, every time I talk on
Hmm.
like publicly or like on camera like this, that's when it wants to start coming out. Whenever
Right.
I'm just chilling, it's fine.
Nothing.
It's chilling.
Right.
But as soon as I got to be up, preaching a sermon, oh, it's coughity cough time
Of
now,
course.
you know?
The
So
devil.
the devil is in the back of my throat just dancing. Him and those demons are just dancing.
Right.
Hate them. Yeah, I try to drown them with holy water, but shoot, they ain't going away. They ain't going away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, please sponsor us. That's the part we didn't talk about yet. Yeah, sponsor us. Jump on this thing and start subscribing so that we can have more people on and all that good stuff. We have only had one guest so far.
But that was a
And it
good
was
guess, though.
good. It was
It was a good
very
one.
great.
It was very
And
good.
we want to have more. We
Yes,
need
yes,
y'all to tell us who you'd like to see.
yes.
We'll see who we can try to get on
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm
And remember,
saying?
we're on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
all those good things. So if you have a friend who only likes to listen to their stuff on Spotify, so just go ahead and share them the link and let them know about it. Apple, everybody
Yep.
likes
Just
their own
shoot it on
place. But
over.
yeah, just go ahead and send it to them,
We
and make
there.
sure that you rate us after you listen, because some of them you have to listen to us first. So listen to us first, one
Mm-hmm.
episode, and then just rate us. Give us our 5 stars so we can get in the
Yeah.
algorithm of love on all these podcasts,
Yes. Yes.
on platforms, so that people can know more about us and that we can help more people on finding out the right way that love is supposed to go.
The right way, guys, because we know everything. Okay. No, but we got but no, it's good. We got some interesting insights, some good things for you to reflect upon.
Yeah,
Like today.
like today.
Our main question is vows.
Vows.
Well, let me set it up even better than that. So, if you ever watched a movie called The Princess Bride, you know the priest there. His
Mhm.
main question was marriage. Marriage. But for us, the question is vows.
Mhm.
Do you need them? What are they all about?
Right,
Why do we need vows? What are those things for? Could you still be married without? Well, who cares? All
right,
right.
right.
Yeah. So we're gonna dive into that today. We're gonna tell you about some stuff from uh, Celtic rituals, from jumping the broom. Some of y'all might even know about that already. Of
Mm-hmm,
course, the American Christian colonizer version.
mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah. There's one other one that we're going to talk about, but I'll look at my notes and I'll tell you what that is. But we Buddhist, yeah, Buddhist.
Right, and
Um,
Hinduism as well. Mhm.
so yeah, we just gonna dive into it. First off, when I got married, I just looked straight up for the regular vows. I wasn't even thinking about writing my own. I was like, nah, bro, we just gonna get through it. We just gonna get through it. I do have another story about my wedding experience when we get to jump in the broom, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay,
Did you?
okay,
What was your thought?
okay.
Were you trying to write your vows, or where was you at with that?
I I didn't. Well, okay. So I got married at the Just of Peace. So right then and there,
Oh, okay.
I don't know how many people really write their vows for the Just of Peace. And I was 20 at the time, so it was like I'm just gonna say what they tell me to say. And then up
Mm-hmm.
until that point, that was like 2003. So I had never really seen any like vows that were different than the regular vows.
The little
Um,
standard joint.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the standard one. So I was just happy to go ahead and just get married. Um,
Mm.
we got married on Wednesday.
Oh,
So
this was like a scheduled it. Let me just get this
yeah, it
in,
was scheduled. It was like,
like a
okay, let's yeah.
C-section or something.
Yeah, basically. So no, there was nothing, no freestyle, no
Mm-hmm.
freestyle to the vows, just regular to having to hold from this day forward. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. No
yeah.
best man.
No, nothing. My mother and my
Nothing.
aunt was there as witnesses.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We. I think you know what I think, and here's why, and here's actually why I've kind of find some validity to at least the question of the
Mhm.
vows,
Mhm.
because for my wife and I, before we got married, I mean, we were already committed. Like we knew we
Right.
were. So it was like that's why we looked for the shortest, most concise thing, because we were like, we know this is just a formal like thing that is part of the ceremony.
Right. Right. Right.
So we'll do it. So it's on the records or whatnot, but we already know what our commitment is to each other.
Mhm.
So yeah, it really wasn't, it wasn't for us, definitely, I would say. it wasn't for us. Because it's not like when we're married today and something goes on, my wife's like, remember what you said in 2005. Sickness or in health. Well, here's the sickness, brother. No, it wasn't nothing like that. It was just we just do life and we just go with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's get into this
Right.
research, man. What'd you find that was
All right.
interesting in your
So what I found that was
search?
interesting. So what I found was interesting. So the question that we ask is, why do we use vows during a marriage ceremony? Is this common? It's not biblical. So let's go ahead and put that out there. So before anyone says that we have to, you don't have to, because it's not biblical. Okay. You don't have that part. It was entered into the world by Christians and non-Christians, but it was never biblical. It was never biblical. So I found this article on marriage.com that says, according to the Western Christian norms, marriage vows are nothing but promises that couples make to one another in the event of a wedding ceremony. The exact nature and wording of wedding vows can vary greatly from person to person, with factors such as their religion, personal beliefs, personality, and various other details which determine the vows that they use. And then so they go on to say that, so in the Western Christianized way of why we chose to get vows, it says that we use the basic marriage vows. Like most people in the Christian world use basic wedding vows. And I will also go to say non-Christian too, because this is not, just that, but because God's holy ordinance is in this vow that I'm about to read, it's normally used for Western Christians. So it says, I, so-and-so, take thee to be my wedded husband or wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do us part, according to God's holy ordinance. And thereto I pledge thee my faith, and I pledge myself to you. So that's like the basics of what you will hear sometimes on TV or in movies or even at weddings that you've been to. So
the colonizer's creed, yes.
Right. But what I found out from, if you follow Esther Perel, she is like a world-renowned marriage and family and relationship therapist, and she talks about how marriage was never intended to be for two people who loved each other. Marriage was created as an institution to protect lineage and property. So vows came along basically to help people to say publicly that we're going to commit to protecting our lineage and our property to each other. So it wasn't based on, I'm going to, marry you for love until death do us part. Those vows came later on. They actually said those vows came later on, like in the 50s and 60s, where love started to become a front for marriage. So before, that's why when you see old movies, and the husband is out working, the woman and the wife is at home taking care of everything, or arranged marriages, it wasn't about love. That's why there's so many dysfunctional marriages that have lasted 40 years, because initially they didn't get married for love. They got married to protect their property, protect their lineage, to make sure that their kids were raised up in a certain community or in a certain family culture. It was never about love until they said the late 50s into the 60s and 70s. That's when the love part came in.
And to add to that, the whole family structure back in early, I guess I say like frontier times, like this is when we're forging our way on the Western. This is when we first started stealing from the natives. They would even have kids same way the slave masters did. We need workers. We got
Right.
to get this farm off. We got to
Right.
live off this land. I need Gertrude and Bartholomew to get out there,
Right.
hold that ground, so we can have these tomatoes. Catch that
Right.
pig, and
Right.
everything was about business, man. These
Right.
settlers, uh, there's something called the the pure oh man, what was it called? Like the Puritan Ethic. I forgot what it's. Oh yeah, like the
Mm-hmm.
Puritan Ethic. It's this whole thing about work ethic and making money and like establishing your life in an organized way. So like they was seriously about that business, man. That's why
Mm-hmm.
they're so good at business now, because
Right.
they don't care about love. They just want to take care of business for themselves.
Ah, yeah.
Colonizers, man. Dang. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
That's
I
okay.
just,
That's okay. So that's the basics of where wedding vows came into. Now you can find out more about this if you want to go down that rabbit hole. You can go
Mm,
to you can Google search or search in YouTube. Esther Perel explains why wedding vows have evolved in society. It was actually on the New Yorker. So if you go to the New Yorker's YouTube channel, you could type in Esther Perel and you'll find her. And then also there's another one by Alex Gendler, Gendler, and his is about the history of marriage. And that basically goes into what I was saying about how not until like the late 50s and in the 60s where marriage became more romantic and not more of an institution to protect the property and the lineage of the families, which we won't even go into that more of that. But that's why it's like we don't want nobody mixing other races.
we ain't want y'all mulattoes and coffee caramels.
Right. So
It
yeah.
is too
So
curly.
exactly. So another question we can ask is the marriage valid if no vows are taken or given?
Mm.
So I would say from a standpoint of this is as far as if you don't say to have and to hold, because some people are like dead set, like I have to say to have and to hold from this day forward. And I found some vows, a Hindu vow, actually,
Mm.
that I'm ready to jump on. Actually, I'm like, okay, my wedding when I get married, I'm not saying to have and to hold. I want to say this. I'm not Hindu, but it doesn't say anything about trying to convert or pray to another god. But this is what it says, okay? And they actually, it's not really vows. It's more like called a phera. Phera. So forgive me if I'm saying that
Fedar.
wrong. A
Yeah.
phera. Yeah. So it's 7 steps, okay? And it says a Hindu couple will not recite a typical wedding vow. Instead, they declare that they will follow the 7 steps of the Hindu religion, okay? So the first step is the couple prays to the Almighty for provision and nourishment,
Mm-hmm.
okay? The second step is the couple prays for strength in sickness, health, good times, or bad, okay? The third step is the couple seeks wealth and prosperity to live a comfortable and satisfying life. The fourth step is the couple promises to stand by their families through thick and thin. The fifth step is the couple seeks blessings for their future. And the sixth step is the bride and the groom pray to the Almighty to bless them with a healthy life. And the seventh step is the couple prays for a long-lasting relationship that is enriched with love, loyalty, and understanding. So to me, that's a deeper committed vow than just saying to have and to hold, to death do us part, and sickness and in health. If I break that down, if we're standing at the altar and we're praying for one another and we're praying together, that's to me, that's deeper than just reciting something, reciting a promise that you might inevitably break,
Good Lord.
So because all I read through these 7 steps were they were praying. They were
Yeah.
praying for health and wealth and praying for a committed and lasting relationship. Now, the one part that it said that they were stick beside their families through thick and thin. Now, I don't know about that part, because if your family start acting out of pocket,
Well, shoot, that in their culture, it might not matter if
I
they act out of
know.
pocket. They might be like,
Yeah,
"Yo, you know what it
right,
is.
right. You
Get
know
with
what
the
to do.
program."
But outside of that, I would say standing through thick and thin, with each other, for
Yeah.
your marriage, for each other, having each other's back. So, what else did you find? Did you find any
So
vows that stuck out to you that was like, I like that?
yeah, I did. I was gonna say something
Okay,
regarding the traditional ones.
all right.
Um, so something that I have done a few times in marriage counseling, because I have what I've it's just really, I don't know if I attract this or not, but I have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like my friends that don't go to church anymore, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
shoot, we don't go to church, we need a pastor. Donovan will do it. So I get a lot of couples that
Mm-hmm.
are, they kind of like, they already live together, they
Mm-hmm.
already, basically everything you would do in a marriage they already do. So I'll
Right.
go through it, I'll do the premarital counseling, and then right before we're done, like before the last session we're going to have, I say, I got a question for you guys. I said, you already live together. You already basically organize your lives around each other and doing everything. What
Right.
is the point of getting married? Aren't you
Right.
already doing what you're going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then I like to watch them try to answer that question. And it's interesting because even for them, it takes something like that sort of a blunt asking, for them
Right.
to realize the value of the vowels. Because usually what they say is no, I guess it does mean, because sometimes they're stumped and they almost get depressed. I'm like, all right, I just think about it. We'll finish up in our last session, then you just tell me what you think. And
Mm-hmm.
usually what happens is they'll come back and they'll say, yeah, it the saying, taking this time to like proclaim this in front of others
Mm-hmm.
publicly does mean something to us, and
Right.
so we do hold those things valuable. And so yeah, it's cool that they do that. The I really liked things that I found in some other traditions, because what they do is they speak to the same sort of values, but they
Mm-hmm.
do it in a different way, which lets me know that the values are a little bit more universal, right?
Right.
The
Mm-hmm.
actual, like, what's at the core of it, it's like, oh, this is a human thing, not
Right.
like a religious or cultural set. The way it's articulated comes through different cultural, comes through
Right.
in a variety of ways, but you can
Mm-hmm.
tell that at the core, this is like a human value that we have. So the thing that about the colonizers' religion, the way that they go about it, they kind of have this four-tiered meaning for vows, where it's like you're promising to God, you're promising to your spouse, you're
Mm-hmm.
promising before your family, which is not necessarily unique because a lot of other cultures do that as well. And then they say it's a promise before your friends in the world. So
Right.
that's like the Christian idea about it. But what I
Mm-hmm.
thought that something that was really cool in the Buddhist tradition,
Right.
um, the wedding vows don't need to be spoken publicly. It's this thing where you could do it if you want, of course. You could always
Right.
do whatever you want. But for them, the fact of its existence, regardless of it being um said out loud or just simply exchanged, like literally they may have, okay, this is my little packet that I wrote my vows in, they're here.
Uh-huh.
This is
Yeah.
your packet, and we're going to put it in this capsule, and now we have it. Nobody had to hear anything, nobody had to have any sort of public proclamations, but the understanding is still there. And I like that kind of thing. I feel like that's something that you get from Far Eastern culture, because
Right.
in a lot of ways, I've noticed that, like when I was living in Korea, a lot of things are more understood between people versus, like the American way of we gotta be so blunt and be like saying it, and
Right.
if it's not said, it ain't real. A lot of stuff within Eastern culture, I'm finding it's got that finesse to it where it's like, yeah, we see each other, we understand, we know what it is, and it doesn't even need to be spoken. And in
Right.
some senses, I feel like that's really quite powerful, because it's like you got that soul connection, or you got that deeper connection, because you're not so dependent on it having to be spoken. So I thought that was really cool about the Buddhist the Buddhist vows. So here's, for example, if like some traditional ones, this is what it says. It says, today we dedicate ourselves completely to each other in body, speech, mind. Throughout this life, in every situation, in wealth or poverty, in health or sickness, in happiness or difficulty, we promise to work to help each other perfectly. We commit to working together in our relationship toward the purpose of attaining enlightenment by striving to always perfect our kindness and compassion toward all sentient beings. So even in their relationship, it's like, as I am trying to better myself for all
Right.
of the world,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bring you along on the journey. I have a commitment to help you be enlightened as well. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool about it.
That is really good. That is really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Forgive me, y'all. I was trying to put the link out on Instagram. So you see me
Oh,
looking.
yeah.
You see me
Well,
looking down.
keep going, keep going. I'm going to tell you about the next one then, while you're working on that.
Oh, I did it. I'm done. I
Are
was
you
just like,
done?
people before someone says she's not even paying attention to him. I'm paying attention.
Oh, no.
I was trying to
We got to
help the brand.
multitask.
I'm trying to help the brand.
Yeah, we don't got all the producers and all of that, sound engineers and all that. No. This is us. We getting it out the mud right now. We in the mud,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so we got to
So
be doing multiple stuff. It's all good,
right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So they also have, of course, there's one that I did not know. I didn't know there was a separate one for what they call is secular, non-denominational couples, which is weird. I don't know how you put secular and non-denominational, because non-denominational refers to that there is
You some
somebody.
religion, yeah.
Hold on, wait a minute. We have an intruder. Go back to class. I mean, go back to your room. He just gonna
I
pop up.
know.
He just popped up like you don't see me recording.
I was going to make a new video.
Okay, but I'm making a video right now.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. You got to make your video later, brother.
Kids don't care. They do
They don't
not.
care.
They don't care. Okay, so it says there are couples who prefer secular or non-denominational weddings, and their vows says this: I, so and so, promise to be faithful, supportive, and loyal, to give you my companionship and love throughout all the changes of our life. I vow to bring you happiness, and I will treasure you as my companion. I will celebrate the joys of life with you. I promise to support your dreams and walk beside you, offering courage and strength through all endeavors. From this day forward, I will be proud to be your wife or husband and your best friend. That sounds good too. I was like, well, I
It
want
is
that
very
one too.
nice. You know what I like about that one? They put more work on the human because they don't actually have God to
Right, I see that.
throw some of the responsibility on, which in some senses is kind of nice, because not that you're omitting God, but the fact that you're
Right.
putting this responsibility that I, as a person, am
Right.
committing to work on making this happen. So that's one good element that I really like about that. Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds really good.
Yeah, because it keeps you accountable, saying all the things that you will do, not just saying, well, we're going to make sure that God helps us. Because, I mean, to be honest, God is a God of free will and free choice. So he's not going to make you do anything. He may, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit will talk to you, and guide you, and as you yield to the Holy Spirit, as you yield to God. But there is no God making you be faithful or making you be loyal or making you stick with the person. It's you wanting to, as you recognize and value the commitment and what you got married, why you got married. So there was something that I found out that was really funny, that people don't write their own vows. So outside of, that, like someone can Google what I just read and read that, of course, and say, you know what, this is how I feel. And I'm going to read this to my person, which is fine. I'm going to ask you that question in just a minute, but people actually hire someone to either help them write the vow or write the vow. Like if you were in college and you need somebody to write your paper, you could hire someone to write your vow, help you write your vows. And the mind blown thing about it, or not really mind blown thing, is that people actually pay to do this. Like they actually pay someone to help them write the vows, and people are making money. And the people who are writing the vows, they are also licensed as an officiant, someone who can marry you. So not only are they getting paid to marry you, they also getting paid to help you write your vows, which I think is genius. If I'm going to marry you, how about I help you, with your vows? If you don't know what to say or have the right words to say. And so I thought that was really good, because in the video that I saw on YouTube, she was, doing a video chat with one of the bride to be or the husband to be, and just going over things, like asking questions like, okay, so how do you feel about this person? What's one, major important thing that happened to y'all that was, that made you decide you wanted to marry this person? When you think about them, what do you think? So it was like, her just getting their thoughts and how they felt about the person, and just like, and she started typing out stuff, which is genius. Like, someone who writes a song, someone who, writes a movie or a book, basically like a ghostwriter in a sense. So what do you think? Do you first, if you didn't know what to say to your wife, would you? And then would you hire somebody to help you? And then two, would you be offended or feel some type of way if you found out that your wife had Googled some vows and just copied them and just said them and said that, and said, this is from my heart, but it really wasn't? I mean, it was.
That's
kind of is from their heart, but not really.
Yeah, it's from their heart agrees with it, but it's not from their heart.
Right.
It wouldn't bother me because I get it.
Right.
I like I said, man, listen, initially it was a business deal. It wasn't really a proposal to my wife. We was literally talking on the phone. I was like, I can see myself marrying you. And she's like, yeah, I can see myself marrying you. And we were like, all right, let's do it. The only reason we had a nice story of proposal is because I told one of my friends that, and my friend was like, that cannot be the story. You better go and do something. That is
right.
Oh, do not do that to her. And so then we planned a nice thing, but what's been really cool. So like I give you an example. See, this is how you get connected to the right person.
Right.
June is such a busy month, right?
Yes, it is.
My wife's birthday is on the 19th. And so the church is trying to do this thing with connecting with this community.
Juneteenth?
Her birthday is Juneteenth. That's right. That's why she had to marry a black man. Hallelujah. Yes. So we was trying to schedule this meeting with this community organizer, and he wanted to do it on the 19th. And I was like, no, man, I can't do it on the 19th. My wife is graduating. That's her birthday. Wow. Can't do it. So I said, let's move it to the next week, the 26th. He was like, okay, cool. Man, I done run through the schedule with my wife. She's like, yeah, okay, cool, 26, da-da-da. And then I had to stop. I was like, bro, that's our anniversary. It's 26.
Wow.
And I told her, I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like running through, but she was so cool. She was like, oh, yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, you got a meeting. We'll do something earlier in the day and we'll keep it moving. It's like the understanding is there,
Mhm.
even if the certain expected gestures aren't. So
Mhm.
that's kind of been the history of our
Right.
relationship. So I feel
Mhm.
like, if she would have got some Google
Mhm.
Vowels, I would have been totally cool with it. I got Google Vowels. She would have been
Right.
totally cool with it. She's like, yeah, man, whatever. We know what it is, But I do know some people that would be very offended.
Right.
They'd be like,
Right.
oh no, we are not ghostwriting here. No Drakes for this situation. We need
Right.
all Kendrick Lamar's hearts part
Right.
5 type energy with your vow. Yeah. I like how the Celtics do it, man. They have something called a hand fastening ceremony where they literally
Okay. Tell me about
they put their hands together, they tie it with a ribbon, and and their vow is super short too. It's like this is what it says. It says,
it.
today we swear by love and peace to stand, hand to hand and heart to heart. Mark, O Spirit, and hear us now. This we confirm our sacred vow. That's what they say while they're tied up. And then get this. After you're married, you wear the ribbon for the first year. And when that first year is done, you could decide if you want to stay married or not. If you don't want to stay married, just take the
What?
ribbon off and you're good. It's like you never were married. Is you just your own person.
What?
Yeah.
They don't. So they
Yeah.
don't file. It's not filed with the government or nothing like that. It's
So I
just.
mean, I'm sure this is probably like a more ancient practice, like a traditional
Uh-huh.
Celtic practice. Because
Right.
probably, I'm sure with government wise, they probably do that stuff. But what they might do is something that my wife was telling me. I don't know if it's still popular in Korea, but it used to be. Was people would go through the ceremony and do everything, and they would hold their paperwork, and they just wouldn't turn it in until a year was up or whenever
Mm-hmm.
was up. When they decided, all right, I think
Yeah.
we're probably going to make it,
Okay.
then we do it. But they would literally have all the paperwork and then just hold it, just put it in the drawer and be like, let's just see how this goes. Let's see how this goes.
Right.
We don't want the stain of legally I'm got separated or divorced or whatever like that. So they were like, we'll just hold the paperwork, and when we feel like, all right, yeah, I think we're gonna make it, then they'll turn in the paperwork. So I don't know, maybe they do that in Celtic culture, or maybe that's just like an ancient thing. But it's like we gonna put this on a trial run for sure, and then we're gonna get into it. So yeah,
Right.
but I actually like the fact that what I like about it is people don't feel like if a situation were not working, even though you done did the dramatic thing of tying the hands together, you still have the common sense to
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, this is not working. Let me not suffer through this. I'm not gonna torture
Right.
myself because it's not working. So I can, while it's different than it's still a commitment because basically for that year they're like, well, in this one year we're gonna go hard and do whatever we can. But if at the end of the year it ain't working, we don't need to continue on about it. So there's parts of it that are strong values, and there's parts of it that is kind of like, I don't know, buddy, a ribbon, and then a
Yeah,
year.
because it's like an easy way out. It's like a Celtic married at first sight.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Before,
yeah, yeah.
because on Married at First Sight, it's like they got married and then they have 8 weeks to decide if they're going to stay together. I'm thinking because my thing
Hey,
is that depending on how long they've been together, or what happened before they did it, the ceremony,
mm,
it's like I don't know. To me, it's just I'm trying to I'm trying to get the right words to say, but it's kind of like, okay, but how much did you know this person? Like, how much of the person did you know before you married them? Because even though we never want somebody 100%, it
yeah.
just sounds like that even with that ceremony, there's no commitment to like stick it out,
You're like, I know I only got a year if I want.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Because you can like do whatever you want in that year, knowing that, okay, I still have the option to leave without any kind of, consequences, negative consequences. I mean, even though in marriage today, you still have the option to leave. But I think when someone when someone is really true to the commitment of the marriage and what it stands for,
mm-hmm.
it's harder to walk away if you're really
Yeah,
in it for the right reasons. Outside the people who just get married just to be getting married, of course,
yeah,
they don't have any kind of nothing holding them back. But if you're like really honoring the commitment of the marriage, or if you did it under a faith-based foundation, you're honoring God. It's hard. That's why so many people who get divorced sometimes, you're like, wow, you were married for like 30 years and y'all got divorced. Like, yeah.
because we really wanted to get divorced in that 1 year, but the stigma was
But we didn't. We stuck it out. And now, we're just nothing holding us back at this point. So yeah, that's
is gone. Everybody's
right. Right.
Shoot.
So you found out some information about African vows.
Yes.
What did you find out?
So okay, yeah, let me tell you all about this. And I forgot what the website is. It's like African American Heritage.com or something. I have to find it. But it's let me see if I can, because I really want to tell you guys the website. Hold on one second. It is.
Of course, you guys know.
Oh, here it is.
Okay, you found it. Okay.
Yeah. African American Registry.org.
Okay.
It's all this information about African American heritage and traditions and stuff. That's just been in American society, and it gives you some of the background on it. Okay. So go ahead and tell them what you would tell them, and then I'll jump into the broom stuff.
Oh, I was going to do that while you were looking about the jump in the broom, but you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So jump in the broom. This is actually, a lot of people think it's enslaved people's tradition. But it actually, a better way to think about it is that it's an African tradition that survived the slave times.
Oh, okay.
So it was actually it originated in West Africa, in the West African country of Ghana. If anybody knows about those different cultures. So there was a something called the Ashanti Confederacy.
Right.
So the Ashanti tribe and this group in Ghana, they had this tradition. And what happens is this black, the broom was like, it signified a couple of things. So of course, one of the things, they always got to throw the colonizers' perspective in there. So when the Dutch and British folks came in, they noticed that the roads, it's weird, the roads in Ghana were extremely clean. Whatever. And so the way they were so clean is because the local people would make these handmade brooms and literally take care of their area. And those same brooms kind of had the history of cleaning the courtyards of palaces and bigger homes of diplomats, all these things like that, right? So the broom in this Ashanti culture, it was not only like this symbol of just pride and taking care of your space and stuff, but it also had this whole like spiritual vibe of warding off all the past wrongs in your life, sweeping away and making your situation clean, removing evil spirits like that. So what if you see, like, even in some of the movies where you'll see at these weddings with the black folks or the enslaved people back in colonized movies, they, in the ceremony, they won't just have the broom like on the ground for them to jump over, but they wave it over their heads and around them, because it's like we're sweeping away all the evil spirits. Now, here's the part about it that probably the men might really like it, the ladies might not. So it depends on how you think about it. So the jumping over the broom part, So I guess some people back in the day used to equate it to like a leap of faith kind of thing, but it's like, no, that's not actually what it's about. Jumping over the broom is for the lady, her commitment to sweeping the courtyard or like taking care of the home. It is like her stepping in charge of her home and her family. So depending on how you think about that, that could be a move to a position of honor, or you might think of it as a position of servitude. But I believe that the more positive light is where they're going with this. Like she is now the protector of the home, the person that will nurture and cultivate the home, that kind of stuff like that. Another part of it was like whoever jumped highest was the one who would call the shots in the home. So I don't know if that was more of like a fun traditional thing or if that was like legit how it would be. So if the lady was like, getting serious on calf day, a couple days before the wedding, she was like, bro, I'm finna call the shots in this house, and just whoosh, because usually the men could jump higher than the women and whatnot. Like, so I don't know if that was a more fun thing or if it was like a legit, this is what it's about, but it was part of that tradition and that culture. So it was a spiritual thing. It was a sense of pride. It was something that was carried from that African culture and survived through all the nastiness of oppression. It wasn't something that came only during the time of enslavement in American, slavery. So it still has pride, even though some black people like, they're like, I don't want to be associated with that. It's like you're actually you're actually associating with something that is much more ancient than antebellum slavery.
Exactly.
The interesting thing personally about that, when I got married, I wanted to do that. And I think we did talk about this before. I did want to do that.
What happened?
But my wife was like, no. And at first, initially I was like, dang, bro, you're just trying to like call me out on the culture, just like throw it away. But a couple interesting things happened. Probably like 13 years into our marriage. 13 years in, she goes, hey, you remember when you wanted to do the broom jumping? And I said no. But it seemed like she was really thinking about it. She was like, I'm really sorry for just saying no about that. I'm like,
Aww.
oh man. And I hadn't even thought about it. Like after that month or whatever, I hadn't thought about it anymore. And this is 13 years later in marriage. And she was like, no, man, really, like, I should have considered that. And we should have done that. But when I thought back about it, I wasn't really mad because, first of all, she's planning the whole wedding pretty much by herself because I don't speak Korean, and so she's got to do everything. She was working full time, and there's also a Korean traditional ceremony that I suggested we do, and she also shut that down too. She was like, no. So I'm like, my thinking was, maybe she didn't understand the significance of the jump in the broom as a cultural thing, but I think in her mind, she's like, dude, I have so much things that I'm trying to balance right now. Do not give me extra stuff. And she didn't even say it like that. She was just like, no, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. And, so I think across the board, she was kind of more like, bro, just that's a lot.
Right.
So in that sense, I don't feel like she devalued the culture of it. I think she just didn't even know, about it. But it is an interesting aspect of something that I may try to talk to my kids and see like, hey, do you guys want to do this? Do you want to make it part of your, what you do? Because it is part of your heritage. So I want you to have the knowledge so you can include it if you want to.
Right. But a lot of Black couples do it without even the knowledge of what it's about. Just the fact that it was a part of their ancestral history, and it's like, okay, this is what we're supposed to do. We can have something that has a tie to African culture, But that's
Mm-hmm.
good that you said that, because I did think that it had something to do with slave. Like it was something that was created during slavery, as to say, okay, this is something for us. We're jumping in. I thought jumping the broom was, okay, this is ours. Nothing can take this away from us. They can take everything
Mm-hmm.
else away from us, but they can't take our union away from us. And this is us jumping into a new life together. Old things are gone, new things are ahead of us. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was about. So that's interesting that you told us that
Yeah.
information. So
And
that's
and
good.
I'm sure it can be added to it, because a lot of these things with culture,
Mm-hmm.
you have the heritage and the history behind it, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how does culture continue to evolve? You add new and contemporary meaning to those things. So I
Right.
think, yeah, that's also fine if we do that.
Right.
I have a game
Okay.
when we're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. So this activity is called evaluation.
All
Okay, it's
right. I love to
clever
play on
full things.
words.
Okay, and here's how here's what we're gonna
Okay.
do. All right, so similar to Married at First Sight.
Uh-huh.
You don't know anything until you see the person. Whatever. You're gonna pick who you're gonna marry
Oh,
based on the vows.
all
All
right.
right. So I'm gonna give you three different types of vows.
Okay.
And
You should know that my ring size is 7.
okay. That's noted. That's noted. We got that on there.
7,
Um,
7.5.
7 and 7.5, maybe. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Or seven with some butter.
Yeah, right.
Or some Crisco, however they do it back then.
Right.
All right. So I'm gonna give you these, and how you want to do? You want to hear all of them first, or
Yeah.
you want to?
On your own.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. We'll tell you all of them, and
Okay.
then you tell me the one that you pick,
Okay. Okay.
and then after that, you can tell me why you didn't like the other ones or whatever. Okay, so here's the first one. This is person
Okay.
one. All right.
Okay. Person 1.
Yeah, person one. All right. Here's person one's vows. Today I say I do, but to me that means I will. I
Hmm.
will take your hand and stand by your side in the good and the bad. I will dedicate
Mm-hmm.
myself to your happiness, your success, and smile. I will love you forever.
Hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
it's person one. It's person one.
That's person 1.
All
Okay.
right, person two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was
Okay.
that was that was Gerald. Person one. That was Gerald. Uh,
I'm taking notes. There
all
you
right.
go.
This is person two. All right. This
Okay.
is Daquan.
Oh, okay.
All right. Don't judge on his name,
I'm
Church.
not.
Don't
I'm
judge on
not.
his
I'm
name.
not.
Daquan.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two. I vow to always put you first,
Mm-hmm.
even during football season.
Oh, okay.
I promise never to keep score, even when I'm clearly winning.
Hmm.
You're the French fries to my chocolate shake.
All right now.
When I say I do, I don't mean the dishes. I promise to hire a professional, even if I really want to try to do it and probably make it worse myself.
Okay.
I promise to continue to make your friends jealous of our amazing relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I promise to unclog the tub, even though you are the only one with long hair. I vow to take your hand when it's too dark and the dog out when it's too early. I promise to love you for eternity
Mm-hmm.
and to trust you with my credit card.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's Daquan. All right. So now you've had Gerald. You had
Mm-hmm.
Daquan.
All right.
All right. Now you have Percival. All right. This is Percival.
Wait a minute. The person's name is Percival.
Percival. Yes. This is Percival. Yes.
Gotcha.
No,
Okay.
the third person. Yes.
Okay.
All
Percival.
right. I promise to love you above all others
Mm-hmm.
and to value you in my life as a precious gift. I look forward to raising our family and building our relationship under the
Mhm.
care and guidance of God. I promise to stand beside you as your husband and friend in sickness or health, in times of prosperity and decline, in peace and in turmoil, as long
Mhm.
as we both shall live.
Uh-oh. You went out. What happened?
Can you hear me now?
What happened? What happened?
Am I gone? Am I gone? Not there?
You're back.
All right. What did you hear? What was the last part? What did you hear?
You start from the beginning. Start from
Okay.
yeah,
Personal?
yeah, personal. Yeah.
Okay. I
Okay.
promise to love you above all others and to value you in my life as a precious gift. I
Okay.
look forward to raising our family and building our relationship under the care of God's guidance.
Mm-hmm.
I promise to stand beside you as your husband and friend in sickness or in health, in times of prosperity and decline, in
Okay.
peace and in turmoil, as long as we both
Mm-hmm.
shall live.
Ooh,
All
those are
right.
good.
Yeah, I try to make
Those
them all good, you know? I want to
are
make it
good. Those
easy.
are really
Okay.
good.
Gerald,
So
Daquan, or Percival?
I gonna go with Daquan.
Hey, okay. Big day. All right.
Big day. That's funny. I had a
Why is yeah? What made you go with Daquan?
because it was funny.
Oh, okay.
And so it connected to my sense of humor. So
Mm,
not to say that Percival wasn't good, making sure that we look to God regarding how to
mm-hmm.
our marriage and our
She
children. That's
didn't
great.
pick God, y'all. Good Lord. Okay.
And
No.
number one, he said I will, but that doesn't mean I will. It means I do, and success and love
Mm-hmm.
forever. And those two were predictable. I think those are predictable
Mm,
vows.
mm,
But I think number two, it was funny. It was personable.
yeah.
It
Actually,
was
I think that goes with you too, because he talked about football. That's
about
in there with
football.
you.
Yeah, which is funny.
Credit
Yeah,
credit
football.
cards. Everybody likes the credit cards. You dig?
Yeah. Now that's
Mm-hmm.
funny because I wouldn't care about that, but the fact that
Mm-hmm.
that's called trust, trusting
Mm-hmm.
someone and not, trying to like, well, I make the money and you
Right.
say you get what I say you get. So that also, the French fries, the milkshake, that was funny.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah. That
still
was good.
also talked about, keeping me first. So I think that is in the lines of things because I mean, outside of God,
Mm-hmm.
your spouse is supposed to be first. And so the
True.
fact
True.
that he played on the humor, and because honestly, putting I, I my rebuttal to his vow would be I promise to not always put football before you.
Nah. That's right.
you
When
know,
the tide is on, when the tide is
when
rolling,
the
is
tide is
rolling.
on, I am watching the tide. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that when you make a vow that's personal and that something that you and the other person will understand and they can laugh at, it that to me that's really coming from the heart. The other two,
Mm-hmm.
yes. The other two are more poetic,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice, and it goes well with vows and marriage and promising to stand with each other no matter what. I think that's great. I think that if you add them all together, they would have that is like the epitome of a vow for me.
One dude just using all. Okay, take
all of
note.
all
All
of
right,
those.
guys.
Yeah, using all of those because it's personal. It came from the
Mm-hmm.
heart. You're also committing to love me forever and for us to be have a successful relationship and marriage, and also giving our marriage and our relationship to God and our family. So all those three things are needed, to me in a
Mm-hmm.
vow. It I think a vow needs to be personal. It doesn't need to be. Is that me? Oh,
Yeah, that was me.
that
That
was
was me.
okay. It needs to.
That was Daquan. He's trying to figure out how to
Was
get to you.
Daquan?
Yeah, Daquan.
Yeah, but yeah, I think yeah. What do you think? Would you would like to have a personal vow or something that's like very poetic?
You know what, man? My personality, I would love the humor. I would love it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I would want to do. As a matter of fact, one of my cousins, the first family member that I married, the reason he and his wife picked me is because they were like, we want to have like fun at our wedding. We want to
right,
do
right,
stuff that is like kind of innovative or creative. So, like
right,
for example, what we did at their wedding was, I said, man, everybody at the wedding is always staring at the back of the bride and the groom. I said, why don't we flip it around? They don't need to
right,
see me. Why don't
right,
they see you guys? And they were like, oh, yeah, that's cool. So on the stage, it wasn't me, it was them up there. And
right,
I was down on the steps preaching at
right,
them and
right.
whatever. And and we did all kinds of fun stuff. I had their parents making promises. I had them saying stuff, you know. It was fun,
Yeah,
and
good.
so yeah, I'm definitely like let's bring the humor in it, because man, if your marriage is nothing but just the serious ceremonial stuff,
Yes,
that's
yes,
not what that I mean, or if your wedding is that, it's not what
right,
your marriage is going to be, and you need the
right.
variety, like you're saying. So yeah, I would love the humor stuff. That would be dope for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Because I think when it comes to vows, you need to speak to the heart of the person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you speak to the heart of a person, then that's when it means more. It
Yeah.
means more. And then I know for me, I said that when I get married again, I want our vows to be printed out and framed like they do on Married at First Sight. They print them out that way, and there's a picture.
Mm.
It's like when those the frames where it's like two pictures
Yeah.
on two frames stuck together. So like on one side is our wedding picture, and then on the other side is our vows. And I want it to be in our room
Mm.
so we can always look at it and remind ourselves, where we started, so that we can
Mm-hmm.
continue to go back. Because every day, I mean, to be honest, every day is not going to be your wedding day.
Right.
So you need to remember how to get back to why you said I do, like why you decided to commit to that person,
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that people, do you think that the final question, do you think that
Mm-hmm.
marriage vows matter? Should they be said? And should you do more of a promise, like our traditional, like I promise to this, I promise to that, or should it be more like a prayer where less that you're praying to praying to God for that person in your vows? What do you think?
Dude, so I will say yes. I think it's
Hmm.
very valuable to have them in there.
Okay.
Um, uh, and that is kind of a new concept to me, which is crazy being a Christian and a Christian pastor. This is crazy that this is a new concept, but taking the vows and making it a prayer,
Right.
because I like the fact of what I really, there were two things that I really really liked in all the vows we looked at today. One
Hmm.
was I think my favorite was the secular vows and the Hindu vows, because
Right. Right.
they were the two things that actually combined the stuff that you need: the human work
Right.
and the acknowledgement of needing help from God to do that work.
Right. Right.
So it was a really nice blend of those things. So it's like, if you're saying I promise to do XYZ, but instead of saying I promise, is like, God help me to do XYZ in this marriage.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's like, I think the ultimate
Right.
stuff. So
Right.
so yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, those two aspects of it. Yeah.
That's really
That's
good.
what I would
That's
say.
really
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So if you are getting married, or you've been married, or you're thinking about marriage, I say that you should, really think about what it is that you want to say to your significant other at the altar. Like, don't
Hmm.
just say the things just to say them. Don't just repeat, to have and to hold from this day forward if you don't really know what those things mean. So, I mean, going through premarital counseling will really help define, what those things mean as well. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like my thing is like my conclusion is speaking to the heart of a person is important. And that marriage vows they do weigh a lot. So the weight of the vows is really heavy. It's heavy because sometimes people may say, well, I'm not going to remember them, but you should. You should remember. You should, like I said, you should remember why you said I do, and you should remember what you said. So take
Mm-hmm.
my idea and the idea from Married at First Sight and frame it out, print it out, make it pretty, put it somewhere, whether you got to put it in the bathroom, put it in your bedroom so you can remember what
Mm-hmm.
they mean. Because when you make a vow before God, he honors your marriage and he's going to hold you to what you said to him and what you said to your spouse. So at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, the weight of the vow is heavy, it's valuable, and it's very important. So don't take it lightly. Yeah.
Uh, my verse is it kind of makes me laugh actually, but I think it's still a good one.
Mhm.
It's a few verses.
Right.
It's Matthew chapter 5 and it's verses 33 through 37. The funny thing
Okay.
about this is
Mhm.
it's actually just something Jesus says, and it's actually him telling people not to make vows and oaths. But here's what he said. Here's what he says. Here's what he says. And I think this is a good thing to live by. So he says, again, you've heard it said to those of old, you shall not swear falsely, but shall perform your oaths to the Lord. But I say to
Mhm.
you, do not swear at all, neither by
Mhm.
heaven, for it is God's throne, neither by earth, for it is his footstool, nor by Jerusalem, for it's the city of the great kings, nor shall you swear by your head, because you cannot make one hair white or black.
Right.
But let your yes be yes and your
Mhm.
no be no. For
Mhm.
whatever is more than these is from the evil one. So what I what I like and I feel the challenge that's in there is like, first of all, don't get a big head thinking you could do more than you could actually do.
Right. Right. Right.
And whatever you say you're gonna do it.
Do it. Mhm.
That's what I like about that verse. Um, which is, when you're taking a vow, but God's saying don't take a vow. But if you're gonna do it, this is how you do it.
Mhm.
Say what you
Mhm.
mean what you say,
Right.
and
Right.
yeah, and don't get a big
That's
head
good.
about anything else. Yeah, yeah,
That's
I
good. So
like
my
it.
quote is for the day is what matters more than saying the vow is committing to the person who is intended to receive the vow.
Mm,
So, and that's for me. You can tweet it, Tierra Monique. So I'm gonna say it again. What matters more than saying the vow is committing to the person who is intended to receive the vow.
hmm.
So your words don't mean anything if there's no action behind it. That's
Wow,
just it's just simple point blank to the
facts.
period.
Hmm.
So whatever you say on your wedding day, whether it be at a church, in a courtyard, on the beach, in the Just a Peace office, wherever it is in your house, remember that everything that you said has to be followed by an action.
Hmm.
Whatever you say, you have to be committed to that person. And from a person who was married before and now is divorced, I did not take into account what I was saying, nor did I
Mm,
really understand what marriage was all about. So now that I know that when I'm sitting before my person, um, at on my wedding day, I am going to remember that not only do my words matter, but my actions matter more. My commitment matters to them more. So you can say everything you want to say, but you must follow everything that you say with a committed action. And that's it, you guys.
that's it. That's
Thank you
the
so much.
way.
Yep. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a mother, tell a sister, tell a brother about the Way Love Goes podcast. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to 5-star review. And until next time, God bless. And that's
The way
love
love
goes.
goes. We're
Bye,
gonna
you
get that
guys.
one day. Peace,
Smooches.
peace. All right.